Hey there, welcome back to another collection and discussion video. A lot of people seem to like this stuff. Definitely have a big list of movies to choose from. And I mean actors and directors to choose from. So one of the suggestions was Christian Slater. So I went through my collection and have quite a few of his stuff. Christian Slater has been an actor I usually enjoy in his movies. And it's not like he's talked about as an A-list star, but Christian Slater usually pulls off his roles very well. He has a good charisma to him. And starting off, there's one film he's in that I do have in the other room. I forgot, but a person sent it to me. The Legend of Billie Jean on Blu-ray. Wasn't really a big fan of the movie. Just wasn't for me. But I know it's a lot of people like it. He was a film called Twisted, which I haven't seen. The Name of the Rose, which I've heard of. I would like to see, but I don't have that film. That's with him and Sean Connery, sort of a mystery movie. Beyond the Stars, I think I used to have on VHS, but I remember it being a very boring film about Christian Slater's this kid who wants to be an astronaut. Then he meets this other astronaut played by Martin Sheen. And Martin Sheen says there's something on the moon, but it's more like a drama, like a tiny bit of sci-fi in it. I just be sort of a melodramatic, lame flick. I haven't seen it forever though. But an early role he had was in The Wizard. Yes, he's in The Wizard, where he plays the brother of Fred Savage, which you'll see him right here. And there are scenes of him and father, played by Beau Bridges, playing Nintendo. And yeah, this was a big marketing scheme for Nintendo and Super Mario Bros. 3, which was coming out. And yeah, you can look at it and really feel and see the overlook any good intentions for what it really is. But there's some goofy fun to the Wizard. I don't hate the Wizard. There's some goofy fun for the, Fred Savage. I think he was a pretty decent child star. It was cool to see Christian Slater and Beau Bridges and these small supporting roles. It was cool to see the video game Nintendo stuff. You have this video game tournament. Granted, there's some stuff they screw up, which you can find on YouTube, the various stuff they mess up on. And like, yeah, I know this kid is supposed to be smart. That's the thing. Like the younger brother, he's out of it, but he's like emotionally disturbed, as it says here. But he's like perfect at video games. But there's being perfect, there's being psychic. I mean, I'm sorry. Super Mario Bros. 3, there is no way you're going to even know there's a fucking magic wand. And then he finds it in less than a minute. I call bullshit. Someone gave him the answers. Alice Trebek doesn't know all the answers. It's bullshit. He cheated. This kid fucking cheated, and that's the underlying theme of The Wizard. This kid's the Wiz. He's a fucking cheater. But there's some goofy fun for The Wizard, for the content. Next is another film that I did review. Very entertaining dark comedy, Heathers. Heathers, I believe I reviewed this film. This is a very entertaining movie. I think I reviewed this. If I didn't, I've done so many I can't fucking remember now. This is a very solid dark comedy. I love my dead gay son. Christian Slater, Winona Ryder, they become friends in this weird cycle of murder and suicide, and how you get if you commit suicide, you become even more popular or cool, and the type of vocabulary the characters said in their dialogue, less smarter than some people give it credit for. And this is an Anchor Bay DVD, so it has a lot of good features on it. 30-minute documentary, Winona Ryder, Christian Slater, Shannon Doherty, director Michael Lehman. I know they did like a Heathers TV show. I never watched it, but yeah, that's the original poster. Which I like. It's simple but effective. A lot of good reviews. And it deserves it. Very entertaining. Dark comedy is the best way to describe that movie. And then one of my personal favorites of his, which this was actually sent to me a long time ago because it's not on DVD in the US, but this is Gleaming the Cube, which you can't tell. Again, this is an overseas DVD sent to me long ago by a very nice guy. I was able to find it's a very faded cover, but to put on the front so that at least the cover's a little bit in English. Very, very faded. But Gleaming the Cube. I have no idea why this does not have a DVD release in the US, let alone a Blu-ray release. I mean, I guess rights issues, but that's unfortunate because I think this film deserves a release in the US. I mean, come on. Can someone give this a Blu-ray release, Gleaming the Cube? This is a very entertaining action, there's humor, there's a bit of, I don't know if I want to call it mystery, but Christian Slater is a skateboarder who is against authority, but he's very friendly with his foster brother, Vietnamese foster brother, who was adopted by his parents. And you could tell that they liked the foster brother more than the actual son. But they have a good relationship with each other, friendship, and then one day the foster brother is murdered. And people think it's an accident or it's suicide. They think it's suicide. But he looks into it and talks with cop Stephen Bauer, who's from Scarface, Al Pacino Scarface. And he looks into who killed his brother. There's something more to it. It wasn't suicide. Very well done skateboarding sequences. I think Christian Slater does a wonderful job in an early role. Quite a few skateboarders, including Tony Hawk, make an appearance in the movie. I thought the director did a pretty damn good job. Kept this at a very fast pace. It says here Artisan, so I guess maybe there was a DVD from Artisan Entertainment, but not anymore. But yeah, I wish this would get, if that's the case, then it should get a re-release, but this deserves a Blu-ray release, Gleaming the Cube, which you can barely see, but show that. Gleaming the Cube. I believe I reviewed this on my channel. Very underrated movie that there's an interview on YouTube. If you look up Christian Slater, Tony Hawk, they talk a little bit about the film, which is nice. But yeah, this deserves a re-release on Blu-ray or something. One of my favorite Christian Slater movies from '89, I believe. He's in Tale from the Dark Side, which I have seen. I don't have the film, but that's a pretty decent anthology flick. He was in the one with Steve Buscemi, where this mummy gets woken up, so controlled by someone who owns these certain papers. And then you have Pump Up the Volume, which I did a review of this. It's an okay film. I wouldn't say I love the movie as much as other people. It's not my favorite, one of my favorite Christian Slater films, but he does a good job. This is an okay film. I didn't rant on the movie. I don't hate this movie, but I'm not going to say I'm a huge fan of it either. But, you know, this was okay. This is back in the day where you didn't have too many pirate radio stations, and he's a DJ, and people at school are obsessed with this guy. And he doesn't reveal who he is, but who is this mysterious DJ on this pirate radio station? And the FCC try to shut him down. I think Christian Slater does a good job performance-wise. And again, that's the inside. I forgot that New Line Cinema also did these sort of snapper cases. It wasn't just Warner Brothers. He was in Young Guns 2, which I don't have because I don't like Young Guns 2. I love the first one. The second one I thought was depressing by the end of the film. I hated how certain events went out. The music is good. Some of Emilio Estevez's lines are fun, but that's it. And then this is a film I always forget he's in. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. And he has a supporting role. I think you find out that it's his brother or something. I haven't seen this one forever. But I always forget he's in this. But Alan Rickman plays a very entertaining villain. Why a spoon? 'Cause it'll hurt more, you idiot. Probably one of Kevin Costner's most well-known films. And I would say if I have to pick my favorite Robin Hood movie, I would say this one. Same guy, Kevin Reynolds, who would go on to direct Waterworld, which him and Kevin Costner had a big falling out. I think they patched things up because I think they did some TV miniseries. I want to say it was Hatfields and McCoys or something like that. But I know they had a falling out for a long time because of the Waterworld. But good cast. I mean, you have Morgan Freeman. You have, oh, what's his name? He was in Metro as the villain. He was in Alien Resurrection. Well, I have it right here. Why don't I just click on it? But yeah, this was a big film in 1991. And a little bit long of a movie. I mean, it's over 2 hours. It's almost 2.5 hours. So it's a pretty lengthy flick. The actor I'm thinking of is Michael Wincott. He's in this. Sean Connery, I know he makes an appearance at the end of the flick. He probably did that for Kevin Costner because I think him and Sean Connery and Kevin Costner got along well with the Untouchables. I know that was one of the things when he did The Hunt for Red October. At first it would be Kevin Costner, then when it wasn't, he was disappointed that he wanted to be Kevin Costner in that role. At least that's the story I've heard. But yeah, this is the 2-disc DVD. Quite a few special features. Yeah, this is a film I haven't seen in forever, so I would rather wait until I watch this again to get more of my thoughts. But it does open up like this. And yeah, it has a lot of features, including network special hosted by Pierce Brosnan. Visits the production on location, recounts the lore and legend of history's hero of Sherwood. Wow, Pierce Brosnan, wow. Vintage interviews. Bryan Adams, yeah, live singing Everything I Do It For You. Trailers, TV spots. Kind of surprised there's not like newer features, like newer interviews. Because it was a big hit. And yeah, it's probably one of Kevin Costner's most memorable movies. Definitely one of his most popular. Maybe his most popular movie, when I think about it. But I remember being a good flick. Mobsters, I haven't seen. I know that's sort of, I think, Young Guns, but with gangsters, but I've never seen Mobsters. Star Trek 6, he has like a little cameo in it. Then you have, I know I reviewed this movie, I must have, Kuffs. And I have a computer here, why don't I just type this up? All I have to do is type in, go to YouTube, type in my username, and then type in Christian Slater. Let's see. I did review Gleaming the Cube. Till from Germany is the one who sent me that DVD. I did review Pump Up the Volume. I didn't review this movie? Well, okay. My mistake. Okay, I didn't review this film. Shit. Should have. I didn't review Kuffs? I could have sworn I reviewed Kuffs. What the fuck? Okay, I didn't review this movie either, so... Someday I'm going to have to rectify that. Heathers I enjoyed. This one is one of my favorite Christian Slater movies. I only saw this film for the first time like a couple years ago. So it's not like a film from my childhood. But I heard about this movie and was really impressed. You have a fun score by Harold Faltermeyer, who did the score to Beverly Hills Cop. Christian Slater sort of behaves like Deadpool. Like, I mean, when I saw Deadpool, I went, some of this reminds me of Kuffs, like how they play with the conventions, how, like Ferris Bueller Day Off before it, but he would look into the camera and talk to people in the camera, and it just has such a entertaining sense of humor. For example, there's a scene with him and Tony Goldwyn, and just for shits and giggles, the movie censors every cuss word Tony Goldwyn is saying while he's yelling at Christian Slater, with like these weird over the top like car alarms and car horns. And then after it's done, Christian Slater's like, "Are you done?" And then without censoring, Tony Goldwyn goes, "Fuck you," because that's like the one R. Like, this is PG-13. How do you make a Deadpool movie PG-13? This is sort of a basis for it. Tony Goldwyn from Ghost, he's great in this. That is Mila Jovovich, which I don't remember how old she was in this. You also have Bruce Boxleitner from Babylon 5. He's in there for a little bit as his older brother who gets shot, and he wants to find the killer, but he also sort of takes over, not really, sort of wants to take over the job his brother was. And also to find out what happened. But again, this has such an eccentric sense of humor to it. And it's not your typical action or buddy movie or anything. It definitely has a lot of kooky, crazy moments. Again, it's one of those things, when I saw Deadpool, it reminded me of this. But without the pegging, girl fucking guy in the ass scenes. But the type of sense of humor, sort of, I don't know how you call it. I would say I like Kuffs more than Deadpool, and I didn't hate Deadpool. I thought Deadpool was okay, but if I had to choose, I would say Kuffs was a more entertaining movie. And as for Deadpool 2, who knows? I don't really care to see any movies in theaters nowadays. But this is really entertaining. This is a film I definitely want to review sometime. I thought I reviewed it, but maybe something happened to that review. The next up is True Romance. This is a Blu-ray that was sent to me, which is very nice. Has quite a few cool features, including commentary by Quentin Tarantino. Interesting commentary. Quentin Tarantino, he's proud of the film. He was a big fan of Tony Scott. He mentions how he liked Beverly Hills Cop 2. And lo and behold, Tarantino is a big fan of Days of Thunder. He admitted that on the commentary. He's like, "I love Days of Thunder." I'm like, holy shit. So, I enjoyed Days of Thunder. Of course, it helps does got Mellow Yellow in it. But it was really like, wow, he likes Days of Thunder. That was pretty neat. So the commentaries are pretty fun. One commentary has Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette. The other has Tony Scott, which I miss. One of my favorite directors. He'd be in my top 10 favorite directors, Tony Scott. Miss that guy so much. One day I will do a Tony Scott video on this type of thing, showing the collection and stuff. And yeah, commentary with Quentin Tarantino. Not really any documentaries or anything, but more for the commentaries. And the movie itself this is a pretty cool flick. Great cast. I mean, you have Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette, Dennis Hopper, Val Kilmer, Gary Oldman, Brad Pitt, Christopher Walken, Bronson Pinchot's even in the movie. I mean, quite a hell of a cast in this. Yeah, that's true romance. Interview with the Vampire, I did not have. I thought I had it, but I didn't. I don't have that movie. I haven't seen that film in forever. This is my all-time favorite Christian Slater movie. I love this film to death. I've reviewed this film more than once. I know that. Broken Arrow. Love this movie to death. Again, I did a long-ass review for this. Love it so much that I have the DVD. And very cool that I have the Blu-ray as well. There's another very nice gift. Again, love this movie. So let me just show that again. Do it without the glare. Come on. Broken Arrow, directed by John Woo, his second American action film after Hard Target. Hard Target is my favorite John Woo film, but this is my second favorite John Woo film. I love how it all comes together. I think the score by Hans Zimmer is one of his best scores. Exciting, adrenaline-pumping music. I think John Travolta plays a very entertaining bad guy and one of his best roles, in my opinion. Ooh, what a rush. You're crazy, you know that? Yeah, ain't it cool? Christian Slater played a great good guy. He was perfectly capable for the role, and he did a really good job. I was impressed. The action scenes are practical. They're very well done. You have this nice helicopter crash right by our actors, or stuntmen, however you want to put it. But it looked like the actors were in some bit of it. And if it's some model work, then they did a really good job with it. But wonderful finale on a train. Absolutely love the fight scene at the end with the music. Very underrated action movie. Broken Arrow. Love this film a lot. When I do a stream, I want to do one on Broken Arrow because this film doesn't get talked about nearly enough. Love that movie. And I just go to the other action movie. One of the, I mean, Kuffs is an action, but definitely more of a comedy. These are definitely more action films, including Hard Rain, which I believe was the same. I don't want to double check. Yeah, the same writer who did Broken Arrow, Graham Yost. I think he also worked on the film Speed. So he went on to write this, and then he wrote this film with Christian Slater. And I forgot this was on a 2-pepper drop zone. So it's one of those double-sided DVDs. So one day I want to pick this up by itself because I like Hard Rain. I don't know if this film's on Blu-ray. Doesn't have any features. This film, when it came out in 1998, it was a big bomb. Originally, it was going to be called The Flood, which makes more sense. I mean, it's a more simple title. But like, what does hard rain mean as opposed to soft rain? Does the rain have an erection? Is the rain going to fuck me? I mean, but Christian Slater, I love how it was filmed. It was filmed on such a practical nature with real life sets underwater or up to their waist in water. It's something they would not do nowadays. Put the budget behind it without a shitload of CGI. And this is a lot of practical stuff. Some really wonderful stunt work with jet skis and boats. Morgan Freeman leads this gang of thieves. They want the money. Christian Slater is part of this these two drivers. The other is like Ed Asner, and they're driving this armored car with money in it. You also have Randy Quaid, Minnie Driver from Grosse Point Blank and Good Will Hunting. Betty White is even in the movie. Richard Dysart from John Carpenter's The Thing. He was the doctor that gets his arms bitten off. Underrated film. Hard Rain is not that bad of a movie. You know, of the two, I would say I like Hard Rain more than Drop Zone. Hard Rain, it's not a classic. I would say Broken Arrow is better. Randy Quaid, his turn as a character, he's like, what? And then Morgan Freeman, I'm like, wait, he's not that bad of a bad guy? So it's like, I think he was trying to do too many twists and turns. But overall, I think the cast worked well, especially these two. Again, as an action movie with stunt work and set pieces, I like the lead guy. You know, I think Slater does a really good job in these roles. I think it's an entertaining movie, Hard Rain. It's definitely better than one. I don't have the movie because I threw the fucking movie away, but there's the rant is still up called Hard Cash. That's a piece of shit film. That's from like 2002, and it's so fucking bad I can't remember anything else about the fucking movie. I guess Val Kilmer was also in it. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Slater's a thief. Just feel free to watch my rant if you want. I hated that fucking movie. Boring ass flick. Again, I threw the DVD away. Very Bad Things I remember seeing and I didn't care for it. That's a dark comedy that just didn't appeal to me. I much prefer Heathers as a dark comedy than Very Bad Things. The Contender I've heard of, I haven't seen. I forget that he's in a bit role in 3,000 Miles to Graceland. Until I was looking this up, I'm like, that's right. He's not in the film that long. He's about as long as David Arquette or was it Bokeem Woodbine or can't remember the other. Yeah, he's not in it that long. But yeah, he's in 3,000 Miles to Graceland, which this is not that good of a movie. But I'm going to do a Kurt Russell one. I'll talk a little bit more about when I talk about Kurt Russell. But yeah, this is. Here's the thing. I'll say this. The trailer makes it seem like the entire movie is about this. Them wearing these Elvis suits and this robbery at this casino. So what I thought was the movie is only like the first 20, 30 minutes. And that was like the best part of the movie. But the rest of it was like, it went downhill from there. Disappointing film. Wind Talkers, that's a John Woo film I don't have. I didn't care for it though. I remember not liking it. He's not in this film too much, but he is in it. Mindhunters. I would say one of Rennie Harlin's most underrated movies. I love the idea behind it. I love that they send these agents to this one island for training, and there happens to be they're supposed to be profilers studying this serial killer, but then there happens to be a real killer taking these FBI agents out one by one in these traps, and then have this mystery of who's the killer and who's not. Val Kilmer is not in the film that much. Christian Slater has an interesting, well, I don't know if I want to give it away. But yeah, Mindhunters, I like LL Cool J in the role. It makes me wonder, though, what if you had Sylvester Stallone? Because Stallone did another movie kind of like this called ICU. And I like ICU. But like I like ICU, but the problem with that is the director of I Know What You Did Last Summer. And LL Cool J is not really a big problem to me. Like I would say this is one of his best roles, honestly. But I just imagine if Stallone was in this movie, directed by Rennie Harlin, instead of them getting together for Driven, get them together for this, I think you would have had something there. But I still really enjoy this movie. And the other... Yeah, LL Cool J does do fine in the role, though. Johnny Lee Miller, Catherine Morris... Yeah, Val Kilmer, Christian Slater. Again, a Rennie Harlin film that gets a lot of hate, but I disagree with that. I think this is a pretty damn good flick. This is another one I want to check to see if it's on Blu-ray. This one I picked up for like... Not for this price. It was like $1 just to see how bad it was back in the day. And that's Alone in the Dark. The worst Christian Slater film. I mean, it's Uwe Boll. It was one of those, it was $1. How bad is it really? And it's really that fucking bad. I never even played the video game. And it's still a fucking bad film. You have an opening text that goes on for like 5 minutes and tells like 15 different fucking stories. Horrendous CGI. Weird fucking out of the blue, like bullet time bullshit. Like when Christian Slater does like a cartwheel as if he's fucking Guile from Street Fighter. Tara Reid as the scientist. This out of the blue fucking sex scene she has with Christian Slater after we've met her for like a minute, if that. Like there's certain words that even Tara Reid's character doesn't even know how to pronounce. And do I fuck up? Sure, but if I'm doing a movie, I would want to research the shit. Like an ending that leaves room for a sequel, but then they did a sequel that has nothing to do with this. Not only that, but then Christian Slater's character is played by Rich Yoon. So not only it does it have no connection to the first one, but the character changed races. Steven Dorff is wasted. Action scenes where literally you just see this light from the muzzle flashes of the gun and horrible CGI. Fangoria magazine, really? Really, Fangoria? Rousing fight scenes and non-stop action. Fangoria magazine. Is that why you went out of business? I know they're not, but this is a terrible fucking movie. Terrible fucking flick. Speaking of terrible flicks, Hollow Man 2. Yeah, Christian Slater starred in the sequel. Well, starred, but it's one of those things where he's invisible, so once in a while you hear his voice. Not a patch on the first Hollow Man, because Hollow Man's directed by Paul Verhoeven. They actually have a budget. Hollow Man 2 is a direct-to-video movie directed by fucking Claudio Fay. I can't even see his last name. Christian Slater is a volunteer soldier/assassin who goes mad after he turns invisible. A driven Seattle detective and a molecular biologist have been assigned to the detective is protecting the biologist, and they find themselves on the run from an undetectable soldier. Holy shit. The back of this DVD didn't even know how to spell soldier. They spelled soldier S-O-L-I-D-E-R. Solider. Undetectable solider. I can't fucking... You're not going to be able to see this, but if you have this DVD, look on the back. It says Solider. Solid. S-O-L-I-D-E-R. Gone rogue. So, undetectable solider. The fuck is a solider? Gone rogue. You can't even spell soldier, really? To find the serum to save his life and punish the unscrupulous scientists and agents of the government responsible for this creation. Well, he's trying to find a serum to save his life, so it's kind of hard to be mad at the guy. But yeah. DigitallyObsessed.com called it a sci-fi guilty pleasure. No, it's just plain guilty. Yeah, maybe one day one day down the road, maybe I'll review it, but I don't remember a fucking thing about it other than it sucked. And a lot of his new stuff I haven't seen. Like, I haven't seen Crossing the Line, or Bobby, or He Was a Quiet Man, or Dolan's Cadillac I saw, but my problem with that film is the lead they picked was Wes Bentley. And then Christian Slater was the villain. That's the Stephen King story where the guy wants revenge for, I think, the death of his wife, so that he it's like he's on construction and he like makes this piece of the road so that when the guy's driving, the car goes down and he buries him in his car or something. Kind of a weird plot to make into a movie. And again, Wes Bentley is the lead. Maybe if Christian Slater was the lead, maybe it would work better. I haven't seen Soldiers of Fortune. El Gringo, I've heard good things from a friend of mine, but I haven't seen it. That's the one with Scott Adkins. I haven't seen that one. The River Murders, Voice of Igor, I haven't seen that. Stranded, I saw bits and pieces of that. I know the ending has this bullshit sequel bait ending. Kind of ruined the movie. Lame ass ending. Not that good of a movie anyway, but honestly, the only ones I've seen, Hot Tub Time Machine 2, I forgot he was in that. He was a host of this shitty talk show. I ranted on that fucking movie, if you're wondering my thoughts. Hot Tub Time Machine 2, it's up on my channel. Really all that's left is... This was given to me by a family member. Because they know I'm a Stallone fan. And Christian Slater's in this for like 5 minutes and then gets shot by Stallone while he's tied to a chair. Waste of Christian Slater. And I still don't like this movie. I ranted on this when I did my Sylvester Stallone marathon where I reviewed most of his films. And Stallone's not the problem with the film. Stallone's actually pretty good. But Jason Momoa, I thought he sucked. The action wasn't much action. This felt like a direct-to-video movie. And that's... Hell, Weight of Death with Jean-Claude Van Damme was a better action movie. And that was a direct-to-video film. So was Six Bullets. So was Dolph Lundgren's The Defender. Or Command Performance where he's playing the drums and kicks terrorist ass. Command Performance, Weight of Death, kicked this movie's ass and this guy in the theaters. And it was directed by Walter Hill. And this guy, as my friend called him, I wouldn't say phone cop, but God, what the hell? Google cop, that's what you call him. Call him Google cop, because all he does is, hey, give me some info. Let me look that up on Google. Okay, give me some info. Fucking Google cop. That's all he did. He did nothing else. So yeah, Stallone, he couldn't save it. I know originally this was supposed to be Thomas Jane, but then Joe fucking Silver, the producer, said, no, we need to market this, so we need, you know, Lethal Weapon words, so we need a white guy and an ethnic guy. So fire Thomas Jane. Get this guy from Fast and the Furious. Son Kane. The one, you know, sounds like a Mortal Kombat character. Yeah. This was a lame fucking movie. I still don't like it. But yeah, that's my Christian Slater collection. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay tuned for a lot more because I have quite a big list of stuff I can get to. So see you guys later.